program in El Triunfo, a small rural farming village. What makes El Triunfo really unique is that it was established in 1999 after Hurricane Mitch had devastated much of Guatemala. After the hurricane, many families had lost everything and had to relocate, and some families relocated to El Triunfo. They were living in makeshift houses without electricity and without running water. Most of the families that relocated to El Triunfo did not know each other initially, and there was an atmosphere of distrust. There was no sense of community, organization, or cooperation. Amazingly though, this is no longer the case. Members of the community realized that in order to improve the quality of life, the residents had to work together. This realization led to the creation of the Guatemalan Project. Created by Dr. Cecilia Campoverde, a professor from the United States, and families of El Triunfo, the Guatemalan Project's mission is to strive for social justice by promoting social and economic development. In short, the goal of the project was to build sustainable communities. With the goals and objectives of the community in mind, we launched our own community health program with the help of the Guatemalan Project in the summer of 2010. All of us were really excited to work on the launch of this community health project in El Triunfo because El Triunfo means triumph, and that's what we wanted our project for. She was able to identify the root causes of this problem. There was a lack of social participation and knowledge about access to healthcare, as well as distrust in doctors and a lack of economic opportunity. They concluded that eliminating health inequalities would require empowering and educating the villagers and inspiring an entitlement to healthcare. Dana also noticed that many of the local girls are not provided with opportunities for personal growth and development. Alas, many girls are not educated beyond grade school level due to financial and social reasons. The girls in El Triunfo were on track to get married at very young ages. Even one of the girls that we wanted to work with left El Triunfo to get married. So Dana wanted to create a program that addressed these issues, and she recruited all of us to join her in El Triunfo. We went to Guatemala this past summer to implement Proyecto Doctoritas, a program developed by our group at Wellesley. The mission of the project was to train 10 teenage girls as health promoters, or Doctoritas, and provide them with middle school scholarships. The project not only provides the community with much needed health information, but it also empowers the individual Doctoritas. Coming from an all-women's college, it was really important to us to show these young girls that they have so much potential and that they just need to take advantage of this opportunity. We really tried to give each individual girl participating in the project our full support. Here at Wellesley, the support we give each other is so important to our success. So we really tried to foster that sense of community within the Doctoritas. We were there to support them, but we also wanted to be able to rely on one another for support. The Guatemalan Project, which is currently working in El Triunfo, is driven by the community, and we wanted Proyecto Doctoritas to be as well. The members of the Guatemalan Project obviously know more about the community than we do, so they gave us a lot of advice on how to start our project. They recommended that we try and reach out to as many families as possible, so we completed a health census of the community families. The health census allowed us to build a relationship with the families while we learned more about the health needs of the community. We needed to know what the Doctoritas should educate the community on, and completing the census gave us the insight we needed. Mycosis, dengue, malaria, parasites were all common problems in El Triunfo. Proyecto Doctoritas really relies on the participation of the community. The girls' responsibilities as Doctoritas are to every month go give charlas or health lessons to the families. These lessons include what is offered at the health center in Guatemala, to good hygiene habits, to how to prevent malaria. The information is simple, yet if done would really help improve community health. Hopefully with the project, the residents of El Triunfo will realize that they deserve better health care and let them know how they can access this care. To do so in this project, we had the 10 girls undergo a 6-week training program at our local clinic in order to have the background they needed to give the charlas. We wanted the Doctoritas to be health educators, but obviously the health issues that we face in the U.S. aren't the same as in a rural Guatemalan village, so we enlisted the help of doctors and nurses at a government health center. The girls had to get training in order to be trusted by the people they were giving health advice to. A major concern that I had was that no one was going to listen to these girls. They're just in middle school. But the training gave the girls confidence, and I think the community really saw that in the girls. I definitely saw a big change. I think once the community saw the change, no one was questioning whether or not the Doctoritas would be able to help. When we took the census of all the families, one of the things we asked was whether or not they wanted to have monthly check-ins with the Doctoritas, and only 2 families said no. So there was definitely a lot of community support for the project, which was really important to us. So I just gave you a bit of an overview on the project and what we worked on all summer, but now the other girls are going to give you more of an insight on the experience, and I think we're going to start with Marge.
Hi, I'm Margaret Zwiebach, as you can see. I'm a junior. And before we kind of get into the more nitty-gritty, we just wanted to let you guys know that this was a very difficult and profound experience that we had, and we have strongly resisted the urge to sugarcoat and kind of revise the history of what happened. We really want to impress upon you guys how really challenging this experience was and how much it meant to us. So this is spoken with utmost honesty, even though sometimes it's a little embarrassing. So I'm going to talk about the relationships that we developed with the girls in El Triunfo and, well, the Doctoritas, and kind of the challenges in communication and how we overcame those challenges. You might think that the language barrier would be the most difficult thing to deal with, but actually that was not. The cultural barriers were much, much more profound and a little bit harder to overcome. I'd say that you can kind of break up the difficulties into 2 parts. I think that the shyness of the girls, and then also what was deemed appropriate or inappropriate behavior. So the culture is very different, and the people there are much more reserved, and it's considered inappropriate, really, to show your emotions. And that, combined with the girls' shyness, made it very confusing for us. When we first arrived, we had our first meeting with the girls, and we all sat down in a circle, and we're like, we're so happy to be here, we're so excited. And the girls were very reserved, and they all sat very quietly with blank faces, and we're like, oh my God, they're not excited, they're not interested, how could this be? And we kind of freaked out a little bit. But we talked a lot with Cecilia, who's our mentor, who is kind of the organizer of this entire Guatemalan project, and she kind of gave us an insight and said, no, it's not that they're not excited, they're trying to show you respect, and they're trying to be polite, and especially because I'm sure a lot of the parents told the girls, you have to treat these people, they're coming here to give you money, they're from the States, they're here to teach you, you have to treat them like the most respectful as you can possibly behave. But that's not really what we wanted. We wanted to build a relationship with these girls as friends and as mentors. The other thing is the shyness. I think that in Latin America it's very like machista culture, and girls aren't really encouraged or taught to speak up and to speak with confidence. And a lot of the girls would shy away from any opportunity to express their opinion or express themselves. So those were some difficult challenges, and I guess we want to tell you how we dealt with them. And I think that we kind of dealt 2 ways, in the classroom and outside the classroom. And first I'd like to talk about outside the classroom. I think that the first thing that was really important was to impress upon the girls that we were here as mentors and friends and not as disciplinarians. And the first thing that was really important was to kind of break the physical barrier. They don't have to stand 5 feet away from us. They can like hug us and slap us 5 and all that stuff. And once we started hugging them, or like, you know, just put a hand on the shoulder or something like that, the girls loosened up immediately, and it was really cute. Like, we would have our lessons, and they would all line up after class and give us each one a hug afterwards. And once we said it was okay, they were all over it, and they would play games, you know, and they would like tap, you know, people would tap on the wrong shoulder, and then you turn around. They thought that was like the greatest thing ever, and they would pinch us and poke us, and they thought it was so fun, and we really enjoyed kind of having that relationship. We also added Saturday and Sunday events. We used to have just the lessons on the weekdays, but then we said, no, like, let's have a more fun way for the girls to interact with us. So we started doing